Welcome to Size Master Thopter Emporium. Hope you're excited to get a Thopter today. As far as opening hand goes, yes, we're going to keep it. I like it. We got Mind Stone, we've got our mana base, we've got Videlican Shackles. Look how pretty, man, look how good that looks. That copper on blue, whew. That's a pretty card right there. I'm normally not a huge fan of, a foiled out deck is really cool to see. It's just not my cup of tea. But when they release these masterpieces, I'm kind of bummed that they stopped doing it after Kaladesh, or after the initial negative reaction with the ones from Amonkhet. Anyway, let's jump out in here in a second. Let's go and get down. Let's go for Flooded Strand, and then anything else we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of foils, but whenever we release these masterpieces, these were I just knocked them out of the ballpark. Look how good that is. It's a good looking Magic card right there. But let's cover our commanders first. So we're playing Sai, Master Thopterist. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Then for a 2-mana activation, sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card. We draw an island. Alright, so let's go and crack island. Let's go and get down another island. If you're wondering why do we have Flooded Strand in a mono blue deck, mainly just in case we need to shuffle it up for some reason. That's pretty much it. I mean, and it's not like we have a lot of things where we need to shuffle the deck, but let's just say we need it for some reason. And also it kind of works as deck thinning in a way, which statistically doesn't really matter, but emotionally it feels better. I like knowing there's one less island in the deck that we have to draw into. All right, so anyway, so we covered Sai. So yeah, if you want to pick up a Sai, if you want to pick up a Thopter, go for it. We got him 2 for 1 today. Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. Then for a green mana activation, add X mana in any combination of colors, but X is the greatest power among creatures that you control. And the opponent's going to get down a Feral Hydra. Enters the battlefield, X+1 counters on it. Then for a 3 mana activation, put a +1 counter on it. Any player may activate this ability. So if we're feeling gracious and we don't want to get down Sai, we can definitely put a counter on it. Let's go and get down Sai. Yeah, I like that. I think mainly what we want to do is we want to go for Videlican Shackles. I think that'll be pretty good. Let's go and get down Island, and then let's go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, if you haven't seen Sai before, what are we doing with this deck? This is a wonderful deck. I love playing Sai. Whenever I built this, I was like, man, it makes me want to build a mono blue commander deck out of Sai because, excuse me, a little bit of a hiccup right there. But yeah, you just oh, okay. So let's see. That's not what we want to see. Do we have an answer for that? Ah, bummer. Let's see. Okay, we need to find something. Let's go for Mystical Tutor. Let's see if we get... Man, I can hit Song of the Dryads like a bunch of times. I hate that. Paradoxical Outcome. That's definitely non-land. Permanent Arcane Denial. We can Weir of Invention for something. Yeah, that's a long ways away, but at least that'll go on top, and we can do something with that later on. We'll still get down Trinket Mage, and we'll hopefully try to bounce back from this. But at this point right now, we have Sai. Sai, the tree man. He's turned into a tree. It's kind of like the Giving Tree. He's going to give everybody Thopters. Maybe he can make some wooden Thopters. That'd be pretty cool. It's going to get down Island, so we can go for Trinket Mage, which is going to be 3 mana. We have Invention. That's going to put us into the range of 3. Because I think at this point, basically what we need to go for is Spine. And that's going to be 7 mana. So we need to get some artifacts going on the battlefield. Let's go for Trinket Mage. Let's tap down Sai. And I'm trying to figure, this is a way we can sacrifice something. I don't know. We'll get down Trinket Mage. We're going to be able to search our library for some sort of... Ooh, I know what. We can go for Skull Clamp. Yes, we're going to use that ability. It's going to be hard for us to take advantage of Skull Clamp at this point. But, well, we don't have a ton of creatures in here. And most of the creatures, they're not necessarily 1/1s. But I guess at this point, it's better than nothing because we can still tap it down for Weird. Yeah, let's go and grab Skull Clamp. So let's go and grab Skull Clamp. We're going to go and get that down. And let's go and go for Videlican Shackles. That way we can at least gain control of Hydra. Now, that does put them in a position to where... Actually, no, we can just gain control of that Hydra indefinitely, I think, to my knowledge. Because, yeah, if we gain control of that Hydra, even if they pump it up, we've already gained control of it. I don't think it checks every single time. I could be wrong on that, but I think we're okay. So next turn, we're looking at getting down Island, and let's get an artifact count. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll be 8 with Skull Clamp minus 3. That's going to put us at 5. So we're at 5 for Weir of Invention to get Sai back. So hopefully we get Sai back at some point in time. But yeah, like I mentioned, you know, the fun thing about this deck is you get to get down stuff like Videlican Shackles, Skull Clamp, and just like any commander that you get down the commander, you get a 2-for-1 off of casting normal stuff that has some good, you know, we're going to be casting Skull Clamp, and the fact that we cast Skull Clamp and get a 1/1 token to go along with it, hey, it's like buy one, get one free. I mean, that's one of the best feelings in Magic, so that's what makes Sai a lot of fun, and completely understand why they went for the Song of Dryads line of play. Definitely want to keep that on lockdown, so hopefully we can find our way out of this one. We'll get over that Song of the Dryads and we'll be able to release Sai. But I think Sai is probably at home being a tree right now, because if you look at his background, he's in a jungle, it looks like, and you know, he could probably start making, instead of making metal Thopters, I bet he'd be pretty good at making some tree Thopters. He looks like he'd be really good at it. He has that look. All right, so our opponent's going to be tapping down for, and what does that look, Jolt? I don't know. He just looks like if you held a lineup and you said who would be the best at making tree Thopters, and you'd be like, yeah, that dude probably looks like he could do it. He's got a beard. He's got glasses. All right, so opponent's going to go for Selvala. It doesn't make sense. You know, I hadn't been recording that long, so the commentary's a little, I don't know, I still like it. We'll have some fun. All right, so Selvala did come down for our opponent, and I think, do we want to go for Videlican Shackles on Selvala? I like that. You took our commander, I'm going to take your commander. Let's get down Arch, and that way we can start going for the City's Blessing pretty soon. Yeah, let's grab Selvala. I like that. Let's go and leave up Mind Stone. Howdy, partner. Come on, Selvala. Much obliged. Let's go and get down a Skull Clamp. And at this point, we're just going to hold on to Selvala. You know, Selvala is one of those commanders that if they have it on their side of the battlefield, it's not good for us. Not good at all. And we'll go and equip Skull Clamp onto Trinket Mage. That way, if they do get a little frisky and want to swing in, at least we can cash in some sort of card draw. And we do have the City's Blessing. So that's going to put us in a position where we can start drawing some cards. And hopefully we can find some sort of way to deal with this Song of the Dryads. But we'll see if maybe after this game I might end up adding. I mean, we're in an okay spot. We've got Thopter Spy Network. We've got Mechanized Production. We've got some ways to kind of bounce back and build a board state. So it's not the end of the world that we missed out on Sai. But we can definitely helps having Sai on the battlefield. Imagine if we had all these Thopters and Skull Clamp, we'd be getting a lot of card draw going. Be pretty good. Now, as far as like the nitty gritty in the deck, there's some pretty fun stuff in here. We got Videlican Shackles. We do have Traxos in here, which is a lot of fun to kind of go beat sticks with Traxos. We do have Paradox Engine. We have Ugin's Nexus because we do have Ironworks. So if we want to sacrifice Ugin, we can take an extra turn. And that's pretty much the only reason Ugin's Nexus is in here, is because we want to be able to you know, take an extra turn. A lot of the times this deck works on just getting down a bunch of Thopters, and we get down some sort of kind of tribal effect, whether it's, what is that card? Metallic Mimic. And then once you get these Thopters going, man, they're in a good position to go. So it's one of the ways that we win. No, we're not going to untap Shackles because we want to hold on to Selvala. Oh, we're drawn to Spine. We don't have to worry about it. I like that. All right, so with Selvala, and then we even do have the green mana activation off Sai. That's so awesome. I love that. All right, so let's go for Sai. That's pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and add a lot of triple green. Let's go for Spine. Oh, that was a beautiful draw. Thank you, Magic Gods. And yeah, so we need to leave up 3 for Weir of Invention. That's 1, 2, 3. Tap down one more. We're going to have Spine enter the battlefield. We're going to blow up that Song of the Dryads. I like that. Let's go for it. So it's going to give Sai, he's going to be able to break out of his wood cage. And imagine Sai breaking out of the tree like a wrestler, like coming out of a cage, like, I'm free. I don't know, it's a pretty funny mental image. And then, do we want to be aggressive with this one? Nah, we're okay. We're going to pass the turn. Now, we do have Weir of Invention for 2. That's going to be 3 blue mana and 2 artifacts. So coming in at our 2 drops is going to be something like Lightning Greaves, Metallic Mimic, Mirror Retriever. We also have Silver Mirror, Sorcerer's Spyglass, Spellskite, Steel Overseer, and Swiftfoot Boots. So I think if we want to have some fun, well, we actually don't have any Thopters on the battlefield, so we could go for Steel Overseer. If we want to grab some extra instant speed protection for either Psy or Trinket Mage, we can definitely flash in Spellskite off of Weird of Invention. So, in fact, okay, so they're going to go for Terastodon, Senor Elefante, and let's see who they target off of Elefante. Because what we can do is, like I mentioned, we can go for that Weird Invention in response to that. Because I think with Spellskite, we can target one of those abilities, and we'll pretty much be able to protect one of our creatures. I mean, we'll still end up with some elephants, but as long as they can't target Spellskite, that's going to allow us to... Alright, so I'm going to go for Shackles. And actually, now that I think about it, yeah, I like going for Weird. If they want to grab those, I want to hold on to that. So let's go for Weird Invention. So we're going to click OK. Weird Invention, we're going to grab Spellskite. And I think this is, I may be wrong in this interaction, but I'm pretty sure this is going to work. Where are you, Spellskite? There we go. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go for, get down Spellskite. Let's go and change, because we want to hold on to Selvala. We can beat a 9/9 that is no trample. 100%. So we're going to choose Terastodon. We're going to go and pay the life. I think that works. I think we get to choose one of the targets. Yes. Okay. Do you want to change the targeting Vidalcan Shackles? Yes. We're going to change that to Spellskite. Okay. So we're good. All right. So we're going to get some card draw. But for the most part, we're going to keep their commander on lockdown, and that's what matters. So they're going to get a card draw off of that one. And then they'll definitely get a card draw off of Terastodon. And then poor Spellskite hopped on the battlefield. But that's what we need. Spellskite's in the deck for that reason. So we end up with some... I hit yes. Never mind. I guess that didn't work the way I thought it did. Unless I clicked the wrong button. I don't know. Anyway, well, that happened. So we do have some elephants. They did get their commander back, but thankfully we can still bounce back from this. We'll see what we can do. We might end up going for a card draw off of Mindstone just to kind of rip into something to get these Thopters going. But if they have Terastodon on the battlefield, just simply a 9/9, and we've got some good elephants going. Plus we've got a Cyclonic Rift in here, so we can get some good stuff going. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened with that interaction with that Spellskite, but, well, that happens sometimes. Ooh, drawn to Adaptive Automaton. Okay. So we go for Adaptive Automaton. Enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. It is the chosen type. And then we actually go for elephants, and that'll make it... no, we need to go for Thopters. That's going to be the better bet. I'm sad that we had Skull Clan for so long. We didn't get a chance to take advantage of it. Yeah, let's go for Adaptive Automaton. We're going to name Thopter. Always like that. I love Adaptive Automaton. It always reminds me, when did it come out? Yeah, M12. And I love Adaptive Automaton because I got in during M12, or Return to Ravnica, Innistrad, somewhere in there. And, I don't know, I've had this Adaptive Automaton for a long time, so I just really enjoy it. Do we want to crack Mindstone? Yeah, I think we do. We want to get some card draw going. It's not really going to do us that good. Most of this deck... Ooh, Thopter Spy Network. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. That'll give us some more Thopters. And especially whenever we start dealing some damage to our opponent. That's a pretty good draw off that Thopter Spy Network. So once we draw into Thopter... once we get down Thopter Spy Network, at the beginning of our upkeep, we're going to get an artifact. 1/1 Thopter artifact, which is going to work out really well with Adaptive Automaton. Then on the back end, whenever one or more artifact creatures deal combat damage to your player, you get to draw a card. So... if you're looking at our opponent, they don't really have anything with reach. So once we kind of get these Thopters swinging in, that's going to be a good way for us to refuel our hand. And hopefully, what do we have with Mossfort Bridge? Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can take advantage of this Thopter Spy Network. Yes, our opponent tapped down Mossfort Bridge. Let me see the game log. Yeah, I don't know what happened on that one. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Also, our opponent said that they're a friend of the channel. So, pretty cool. And yeah, if you ever tell me something in the chat, I need to change my settings. Somehow they changed the chat settings to where I don't get notifications on chat. So I'll pop it up. You can see, big fan, Frag Camper, thank you very much. I always like to refer to as a friend of the channel, because we're all Magic friends here. Go a little Bob Ross on you right there. I like to do that sometimes. All right, so Sword is going to come down as long as creatures tap, +2/+0. Untap plus creatures you control get +2. You may untap or untap. Okay, so they're going to be able to get that now. It's kind of one of those cards like, man, I haven't seen that in a long time. So that's going to be able to get on... Actually, does that make just infinite mana with Selvala? Does it? think it does. Untap target creature. We'll see what they have. But we're going to let this cycle through, but I think that might generate a pretty good chunk of mana. Yeah, they get that untap ability. So if that's the case, I'm going to let them just kind of start generating some mana, and then we'll see what the actual payoff is going to be here in a second. All right, so our opponent, basically, they just demonstrated where they're going to be able to generate a ton of mana with Dustwatch Recruiter and just really kind of cycle through their deck. So let's see what we draw into, unless we hit Cyclonic Rift off of a top deck. Well, I was just about to say, they could have... we can go for Meteor Golem. Oh, actually, no, we can't cast it. No, we can't cast Meteor Golem. So that would have been an answer. But next turn, yeah, they're pretty much going to be able to get it with swords. They're going to be able to generate a ton of mana, and then they're going to be able to dig their way into something like Crater Hoof. Yeah, because we don't have enough mana for Meteor Golem. If we had enough mana, that would definitely buy us some time. But good game to our opponent. Hold on 1 second, Dorothy. Okay, hold on. Getting ready to say good game, but my cat wants me to pick her up. So anyway, here we go. Good game. So if you heard her meow, she wanted me to pick her up, but she always gives me this really stern look, like, you better pick me up, partner. And why she does that, she's been asleep the entire time. I don't know why. But anyway, good game to our opponent. Like I mentioned, if you didn't see what was going on, so they have the sword right here. They add mana to their mana pool. Dustwatch Recruiter is going to be the way that they can kind of start cycling through their deck. And they kind of demonstrated with Thunderfoot Baloth. They've got Hydra, Vizier, and more than likely there's Crater Hoof hanging around out there somewhere in there. Or simply just getting down Thunderfoot Baloth is more than enough to close the game out. We can't really stop that. So good game to our opponent. If we had enough mana for Meteor Golem, we could have closed it out, but they're going to get it. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.